Hello all, welcome to another lecture. Today I'm going to give the first lecture on verb phrase. So without much ado, let's begin our class. A typical sentence in English consists of an NP which is immediately followed by a VP. As we already discussed, there is no demarcation of a subject and a predicate in modern English grammar. Instead, they prefer to split the sentence into NP and VP. So this is how they split a sentence. A verb phrase can be defined as a syntactic unit. So it is a part of a sentence. That's why it is called a syntactic unit, composed of at least one verb. So one verb is an obligatory. So a verb is an obligatory element in a verb phrase, and its dependents, objects, complements, and other modifiers, which this we have already seen, but not always including the subject. So it is not essential that a verb phrase should contain a subject. They include the helping verb and main verb in a sentence. So as you all know, there are two kinds of verbs, helping verb and main verb. So what is meant by a helping verb? A helping verb is otherwise known as an auxiliary verb. An auxiliary verb is a purely grammatical word, and it cannot be individually translated. So words like shall, should, will, would, can, could, may, might, must, ought to, used to, need, dare, etc. all come under auxiliary verbs. And also the different forms of be, do, and have also come under helping verbs. And next kind of verbs are called main verbs. Main verbs are also known as lexical verbs. They have individual meanings. They have independent meaning, and they can be individually translated. Words like walk, talk, write, climb, run, etc. are examples of main verbs. So now let's take a look at some of the examples of verb phrases in a sentence. The author is writing a new book. So if you notice, you can understand that there are two verbs in the sentence. So be's different form is is. So it is a helping verb. Is a helping verb here, and writing is a main verb. Then I must make an A in this class. So must is a helping verb and make is a main verb. The dog might eat the cake. So in this sentence, might is the helping verb and eat is the main verb. So verb phrases can be created without helping verbs at all. So there are sentences where there is no helping verb. These sentences can only be set in present or past verb tenses. As you all know, will and shall are the auxiliary verbs that signify the future tense. So it cannot be used here. So examples are the author wrote a new book, I made an A in this class, the dog eats the cake, he walked to work today, we married after college, etc. Coming to the structure of a VP, the VP must consist of two compulsory items. So two obligatory elements should be there in a VP. So a VP is incomplete without these two elements, and they are the auxiliary and the main verb. Okay, so they are the auxiliary and the main verb. So a verb, a VP can be rewritten like this. A VP can be split into auxiliary and main verb. An auxiliary verb is used in forming the tenses, moods, and voices of other verbs. The primary auxiliary verbs in English are be, do, and have. As we have already discussed, the primary forms of auxiliary verbs are be, do, and have. And then the modal auxiliaries are can, could, might, must, shall, should, will, and would. An auxiliary has its own structure. So another point to be noted is that an auxiliary has got a structure of its own, and the compulsory element here is the tense. So the tense is the essential element of an auxiliary. So you should specify which tense in which tense is our sentence in. So we have to specify that. An auxiliary should have a compulsory element, and that element is the tense. So let's take a look at a sentence. Let's split that sentence. I laughed. So this is the sentence. So let's split it into two, NP and VP. And as you all know, NP consists only of noun here, and the noun is I. And in VP, VP can be split into two, auxiliary and main verb. So auxiliary and main verb both are compulsory elements. So just take a look at this. The auxiliary is the tense, which is past tense, and main verb is love. So in this example, the main verb comes after the auxiliary, hence the tense is carried by the main verb. That's why I put this arrow. Okay, why? Because the main verb comes after the auxiliary, hence the tense is carried by the main verb. Okay. Now let's look at another example. Sita sings. So this particular sentence can be split into two, NP and VP. So as you all know, there is only one noun here, that is Sita. So NP is complete. Now let's move on to VP. So VP consists of two compulsory elements. They are auxiliary and main verb. So auxiliary is the tense, and here it is present tense. Again, this present tense is carried by the main verb, which is sing. Okay. So coming to the next point. In an auxiliary, the tense appears as the first element and is obligatory. So we have already discussed this. This is followed by modal, the perfective and progressive, and these three elements are optional. So, but you have to pay attention to this particular order. So the tense comes first, then the modal, then the perfective, and then the progressive. But only tense is obligatory. The rest of the items are optional. So again, this can be rewritten like this. An auxiliary can be split into a tense plus modal plus perfective plus progressive. Why are they put in brackets? Because they are optional elements. So examples for modals: will, shall, can, may, would, should, could, might, ought to, must, dare, need, etc. So what is a perfective tense? So a perfective tense is marked by have plus en, where en is a marker of past participle morpheme. Progressive form of a verb is used to express the continuity of action. Okay, progressive is marked by be plus ing. Now let's take a look at the different combinations of the optional elements in the auxiliary. So the first combination is an auxiliary can be split into tense plus modal. So if you notice in this sentence, can is a modal, okay, then there is a tense which is the present tense, and then there is a main verb. Okay, so this sentence can be split into an NP and VP, and we are very sure about the noun or the NP here, which is she, and we are also sure about the main verb, which is dance. So auxiliary here can be again split into tense and modal. So the tense is definitely the present tense, and the modal is can. So this is how you split a sentence. Now coming to the next combination, an auxiliary can be rewritten as a combination of tense and perfective. So the perfective is have. So as we already checked out, perfective is have plus en. And it requires the past participle of the main verb following it. En is the general marker of the past participle form. So let's take a look at this particular sentence she had written. As you all know, it is in past participle form, in past perfect form. So here again we have divided the sentence into two, NP and VP, and the noun here is she, and now we are going to split the VP. So auxiliary and main verb, and the main verb is write. It is not en. Why? Because we are taking out en in the auxiliary part, so you are not supposed to write written in the main verb. So make sure that you are writing the original form of the verb there. Now auxiliary can be split into two, tense and perfective. So the tense here is past, and perfective can be again divided into have and en. Okay, so this is how you split the second combination. Coming to the third combination, an auxiliary can also contain a progressive tense. So it can be rewritten as tense plus progressive. So progressive, what's the combination of progressive? Be plus ing. A progressive is be, so the different forms of be are is, are, was, were, and it requires the present participle. So what do you mean present participle? ING form. Yes, ING form is the present participle form of a verb. ING is the general marker for the past participle form. Now let's consider the sentence, she is practicing. Okay, so we already know the tense of the sentence, which is present tense, and we also know that this is written in progressive tense. Okay, so now we are splitting it into two, NP and VP, and we are quite sure about the NP here, which is she, and now we are dividing the verbal phrase into two, auxiliary and main verb, and auxiliary can be again divided into two, tense and progressive. So which is the tense here? That is present, and progressive tense can again be divided into B plus ing, and which is the main verb here? Practice is the main verb. So there is no need for putting ing, as we have already taken it out and we have put it under auxiliary. Okay, so this is how you rewrite this is how you rewrite the third combination. Okay, now let's take a look at the fourth combination. An auxiliary can contain a modal and a perfective along with the tense. So let's consider this particular sentence, she might have gone. So this sentence can be split into NP and VP, and we are sure about the NP that it is she. The VP can be divided into two, auxiliary and main verb, and we are also sure about the main verb, which is go. Coming to the auxiliary verb can be split into three, tense, modal and perfective. So tense is it is in past tense, the sentence is in past tense, so it is clear here. Modal here is may. Okay, why? Because it is the present form of may, right? It is the it is the present form of might, so we should write may here. So everything should be written in the present form. That is one thing which you have to keep in your mind. So may, and then you know that gone is the past participle form of go. So you again under perfective you write have plus en. Okay, so this is how you split a sentence according to the fourth combination. So just look at it: past plus may, which is might; have plus en plus go, which is have gone. Okay, now coming to the fifth combination, an auxiliary can contain a tense along with perfective and progressive tense. So just look at this sentence: she has been crying. So here she is the NP, and has been crying can be split into auxiliary and main verb, and we know that the main verb is cry. Now auxiliary can be divided into three: tense, perfective and progressive. Tense, undoubtedly it is in present tense. Then perfective, we have to divide it into have plus en, and not has plus en, because everything should be written in the original form. So have plus en, then there is progressive form, that is B plus ing, and then we have our main verb. So this is how you should split a sentence according to the fifth combination. Coming to the next combination, an auxiliary can also contain a tense along with modal, perfective tense, as well as progressive form of the verb. So now let's consider this sentence: she could have been laughing. So undoubtedly this sentence is in past perfect continuous. Okay, now we are going to split the sentence into two, NP and VP. So she is our NP. VP can be divided into auxiliary and main verb, and we are very sure about main verb, which is laugh. Now we are going to split auxiliary into tense, modal, perfective and progressive. Which is the tense? Past tense. Then modal here is can, right? Can is the original form of could, right? So can, then have plus en, then be plus ing. Okay, be plus ing, and then laugh. So this is how you should split a sentence according to the sixth combination. So that's it for today. We'll learn more about VP in the next lecture. But before winding up for the day, let's take a quick look at the things we have learned today. A VP consists of two obligatory elements, which is an auxiliary and the main verb. In an auxiliary, the tense appears as the first element and it is an obligatory element. And there are only two tenses, present and past. There is no future tense. This is followed by modal, the perfective and progressive, and don't forget the order. And all these three elements are optional. So the first combination that appears in auxiliary is the combination of tense and modal. For example, she can dance is an example of such a combination. The next combination is tense plus perfective. He had eaten is an example for such a combination. Coming to the next combination, which is tense plus progressive, an example is Rama is singing. Tense plus modal plus perfective is the next combination. John will have eaten is the example of this combination. Next, a combination is tense plus perfective plus progressive. Sita has been sleeping is an example for this particular combination. Coming to the last combination, which is tense plus modal plus perfective plus progressive. Sita could have been sleeping is an example for this particular combination. So that's it. So I want you all to go through what all things we have studied today, and I'll be uploading some exercises in the Google Classroom. You have to draw diagrams showing the constituents of the VPs. Okay, so we'll meet again with another video. Till then, you keep studying, and if you have any doubts, please message me. I'll be more than happy to help you out. Okay, thank you. Stay happy, stay safe, and stay healthy.